You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got a couple things, both involving members of the Sanders family. Number one, we've got Shedeur Sanders making some comments from minicamp. Very interesting indeed, where he thinks he's at, et cetera, et cetera. Dan Orlovsky, and I may end up doing a video on this, come out and said he believes that Kevin Stefanski is a perfect fit for Shedeur Sanders and vice versa. That should get interesting, right? I've said before, they couldn't ask for, there's 5 or 6 coaches that would have been good coaches for Shedeur's skill set, and Stefanski's one of them. Been very vocal about that since the very beginning, before the draft, prior to the draft. And Deion Sanders and a health scare. All right? Nobody knows exactly what's going on here because, of course, he's been out. That news just broke that he's been out. He missed the start of Colorado's football summer camps. You see that right there. Unspecified reasons, okay? So now some comments have been made through Deion Sanders Jr., and it was not clear. We don't know when Deion's coming back. Senior, that is, prime. Quote, he'll tell y'all soon enough what he's going through, what he went through. Interesting. We know he's had a problem with a foot. Sanders Jr. said Sunday on a YouTube live stream from the family's home in Texas. Per CBS Sports, the younger Sanders handles social media on behalf of his father, who has remained out of the public eye since the NFL draft in late April, when his son Shedeur Sanders wasn't selected until the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns, despite being a projected top pick by some prognosticators. Yeah, but people started trying to shoot that down 2 months out. Nobody listened. The 57-year-old coach attended Buffalo's summer camps in 2023 and 2024, but he has not appeared so far. Quote, when we get back in Boulder, I don't know. So we don't know. Said of his father's return, I'm waiting until my dad leaves. When he leaves, then I'll go. Until then, I'm going to sit here with him. Football operations have continued as normal in Boulder, and Sanders speaks with his staff daily. Outside of his lack of physical presence, it's been a, quote, typical June, a person briefed on the situation said. He canceled a speaking engagement scheduled on Sunday with a sickle cell disease research in Florida. And then it goes on to talk about blood clots in his left leg. We all remembered that. Sanders had his left big toe and second toe amputated after blood clots blocked blood flow in his foot. He was in the hospital for 23 days, missed 3 games, and coached in an electric wheelchair when he returned. That was October of 2021. Man, that's scary. I got to be real. That is scary. Yikes, man, that's something. When you start losing parts of your feet, you do get very concerned. That's been almost 4 years ago now. So this is by way of ESPN. Shedeur Sanders making comments about where he's at right now.
My goal is to be the best teammate and to be as polished as I can be. So in every aspect, I view things as I got time. I got time to be able to grow and mature, and be able to understand the ins and outs of the defenses and be able to get the good insight from the vets in the room. So I look at it as, a plus. Like I got time to actually be able to really have a great understanding. And whenever, it's time for me to play, then it's time for me to play. But I'm not looking too far in the future about all that. I'm looking about every day in practice because I had some misses out there today that, we got to go in there and correct about Reeves getting in and out drops a little bit faster from under center. So that's the main thing. I'm focused on the small things, and over time, the big things will happen.
Okay, so he said, and they're about to try to pop another video on me. Hold on. There we go. He said that, there's some things he's got to work on. I will say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've liked his attitude since he got drafted. Day in, day out. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about today and what I got to work on today, day in, day out, going forward. The key to all this, and maybe, I think it was part of the league's intention by not drafting him until later, is he sounds like a different kid right now, all right, than he did pre-draft. I don't know if anybody's noticed, a great deal of the ego has disappeared since if he still had that pre-draft process ego and all that, you guys know I would be coming on here and I would be obliterating him. All right, because it was a big reason why he dropped. He should have participated. Deion should have had him in every single thing he could get into. He greatly overvalued, overevaluated, yada, yada, yada. Right? But his attitude wasn't great. It wasn't. All right? To the NFL folks, if he had acted like he's acting now, probably would have been a second-round pick. All right? That's just a fact. And when you start dropping like that, you run into a bunch of teams that thought he was going so high, they didn't even bother to evaluate him. So that was part of his drop too. And then when he got to the 5th round, where you're talking about teams, well, we're just going to take a shot. Maybe he can be our backup, But so then you're talking about teams that didn't evaluate him, having to determine, are we going to take him? That's neither here nor there. He's saying the right things right now. And he's with the right coach right now. I still don't think he wins that starting job. I had a live stream recently with a buddy of mine, Mick, who's in Ireland, and he's really tied in like I am, hardcore, and he thinks Shedeur's winning this job. Now, I told him, I said, I don't think he's winning it, but bare minimum, he's about to be at least the backup. He's gonna make it to, at least, my opinion, at least a second string on the depth chart when the season starts, and then depending on how the season starts and how things are going, because I think Joe Flacco is going to be the guy, because Kevin Stefanski is coaching for his job. And I think that's why Flacco's there, by the way. Because Stefanski's like, you know what? After 7 weeks, we can be 4-3, or we can be 3-4, or whatever. I don't know when their bye is, but you get my point. After 8 games, we can be, 4-4. We can be 3-5, although that's not great. We could be 5-3 maybe if Joe Flacco is playing. Now, if they start out in the first 8 games and they're 2-6, 1-7, yeah, maybe even 3-5 actually, then I think that's when Shedeur Sanders becomes the starter. Kenny Pickett's the odd man out. He's got to be. He's surely got to be. I just don't see the point. Joe Flacco has already proven he can be lightning in a bottle and get you to the playoffs. Kenny Pickett hadn't proven that. And Dillon Gabriel, I don't know. Maybe he shocks everybody and roars ahead and wins the job and beats everybody out. I just don't think that's going to happen. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.